So what did the event at the Reagan Library tell us, show us about the Republican field, its strengths, its weaknesses, about the shape of the race going forward? One thing I won't be asking tonight is, who won? Only because I think it's a pointless question. Joining me now, Angela Kelly, Executive Director of the Progress Action Fund at the Center for American Progress, Michael Fauntleroy, Associate Professor of Political Science at Howard University, and political strategist Bruce Haynes, founding partner of Purple Strategy. Bruce, right out of the gate, Donald Trump was making fun of Ron Paul's appearance. It was not exactly an auspicious first half hour with this new technique of trying to get them to take shots at each other instead of having the moderator be the hinge point of every exchange.
Yeah, it was almost like it was a box of cereal that we had to work our way through the cardboard to get to the good stuff inside, right? And I think the good news is we actually finally did get there after we waded through some things, some personality issues, and a lot of these, I think the opening 4 questions were about Donald Trump and some of the things he has or has not said about the other candidates. But we eventually did get to some substantive exchanges on things like foreign policy, on immigration, on taxes. I think voters learned a lot, and at the end of the day, you know, 23 million people watch for a reason, and I feel like they learned something.
Angela Kelly, were there really contrasts between these 11 candidates? Significant ones?
You know, no, I don't think so. I think it was just a blur of sound bites and not substance. I disagree, particularly on the question of immigration, where they talked a lot about repealing the 14th Amendment and not a lot about what they would do with the 11 million, except try to deport them all.
Not everyone said that, let's be clear. And Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush certainly set themselves apart on that question, and not all Republicans are in agreement on doing that.
No, but they didn't put forward what they would do with the 11 million. I didn't actually hear a comprehensive strategy from either of them. Marco Rubio was aligning himself with legal immigration. That's good and easy for him to do. He's a Cuban, so of course his family would automatically get a green card. So no, I don't think that there was a lot of substance. I think that they went for the lines and they tried to go after each other. And you know, I think Carly Fiorina did a good job, and I think she turned on Trump very effectively, his insult of her, and I think, you know, a lot of women cheered as a result, me included. But I'm not, you know, I'm not sure that at the end of the day that she, frankly, can stand up and emerge the candidate either. I just don't know who will.
Professor, are these pitfalls that are almost inherent in trying to get 11 candidates to talk about anything?
I think it absolutely is the case. You have to remember the structure of these. These are not necessarily real debates. They're more like candidates forums, and they're intended for purposes other than necessarily informing the voters. They're about trying to rally the supporters of the individual candidates. And when you have 11 candidates on the stage, it's like trying to herd cats. It's just really not a clean and neat and easy way to present candidates and their ideas and issues. So there's going to be disconnect. It's going to ebb and flow, and I think we saw some of that last night.
Bruce, you run campaigns for a living, in part. Weren't there assignments that these campaigns would have had for themselves, apart from trying to take down the man who's perceived currently as the front runner? Because there are several that are with not being on the big stage the next time around.
There were assignments, and I'll give you a perfect example of one where it was a missed assignment. Someone missed their block and got tackled, and it was Scott Walker. You know, he's got a crisis of confidence to some extent in his campaign right now. There are donors that are flirting with leaving. People are questioning. His poll lead in Iowa has evaporated. The one thing that he needed to do last night was find a way to stand out from the crowd. You don't stand out from the crowd by scoring the least amount of speaking time in a 3-hour debate. He didn't even get 9 minutes of podium time. That's a big whiff for him, and I think it's going to hurt his campaign very bad.
Isn't some of that the function of the moderator, though? I mean, isn't that what he's up there to do?
Well, some of it's the function of the moderator, but some of it is showing your strength. Carly Fiorina was going to stand down for no one. If she had a point that she felt like she needed to interject, she stepped forward and showed strength. It's a lot of reason why, forgive me, Ray, a lot of pundits said that she actually won the debate last night. I think you also, you know, Donald Trump has been classic for using that kind of maneuver, and Marco Rubio found ways to stand out. In a field of 11, you're right, it's a big challenge. How are you going to find a way to step out and let your brand distinguish itself and differentiate itself from all of the other political product brands that are on the stage last night? The ones that did that they carried their agenda forward.
Stay with us. We're going to pick this up in a moment. The candidates talked a lot about foreign affairs and the United States military, about facing off with Vladimir Putin's Russia, about the nuclear deal with Iran. They all promised a tougher America and a bigger military to the approval of the audience at the Reagan Library. Is that where Republican voters are in 2015? Is that where American voters as a whole find themselves these days? Stay with us. GOP Debate Night 2. It's Inside